Thank you, Councilwoman Davila, of having me, and also our distinguished other fellow nonprofits and safety net service providers. Um, when they asked me, will I attend this meeting, I rearranged things because it's not often that you come across leaders such as a Cheryl Davila. She is a very rare breed. And I'm a person that works in 4 counties and 16 cities and works closely with many different municipalities, but not all of them have the same leadership, the same heart, the same commitment and dedication that I have experienced, that I have watched happen with Councilwoman Cheryl Davila. She not talks the talk, she actually walks the walk. And that's a rarity when you have people that are in politics. Let's just be real about that. And so I've seen her show up. I've seen her stick up for homeless kids, homeless people in the park, unhoused people on the streets. And it hasn't just been an overnight or when it's popular. She's been doing this for years. And so I wholeheartedly support Councilwoman Davila because she is the real deal. And she has the track record to prove it. So if I was going to endorse anybody, it definitely would be Councilwoman Cheryl Davila. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your testimony today. And thanks for rearranging for us. Okay, next we're gonna hear from Mary. Mary, do you mind taking it over?
Sure. I just want to express my tremendous gratitude to Councilmember Davila. I'm speaking solely on my own behalf. I'm a member of the Homeless Commission, and in that capacity, I was able to tour the Pathways facility down on 2nd Street, and I found numerous dangerous and egregious ADA violations. Disability issues are often considered difficult to deal with because there are so many different types of disabilities, from mental to addiction to physical. But nonetheless, it's part of federal law, and it also is something that the city manager herself made part of the code, that this structure had to be ADA accessible, and it decidedly was not. As a result, we had people trapped in their own waste in bed down there. We had no safe access to medications 24/7. And we had people with addictions in the same room as people that needed those sorts of medications. We had men and women together in big trailers. There were assaults. There are all kinds of problems that were happening down there. And I testified about this at council many times. And I also testified about the fact that this is an intersectional issue, because if you are denied educational opportunities, if you are denied job opportunities, if you are denied a fair wage, if you are denied healthcare, you are far more likely to be out on the street, and you're far more likely to become disabled from chronic illness or from other types of lack of medical care. And for this, people on the street are disproportionately from other oppressed groups, people of color, LGBTQI, timed out foster children, people who identify as female. And it's a spectrum, of course. Some people have more disabling conditions than others, and some people have larger challenges than others. For instance, if it were me, I know for a fact that it would be exponentially worse for me if I was also a person of color, because I would have to deal with all the discrimination from that group as well as from this group. And we cover every oppressed group. And Cheryl is the one person on council who not only acknowledged that, but proactively sought me out to talk to me about it, has been following this issue, and is working on it with activists to try to resolve it. This is extra important for anybody with a disabling condition, because of course one of the drawbacks of trying to do activism with disabilities is that you're never certain when you're going to be able to physically turn up at things, when you're going to be able to advocate. And for that, more than ever, we need strong leadership. And Cheryl is the one person on council, the one person who has made a strong stand, even without the support of other people that should be standing behind her. And so it's up to us now to stand behind her and work with her. And I strongly support her in this bid, and I look forward to working with her more in the future. And I want to just thank her from the bottom of my heart for all her hard work.
Thank you so much, Mary, and for all of the work that you're continuing to do to advocate for others. That's like what we really need these days. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yessica, would you like to speak?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Thank you for being here. Well, I just want to say that, I really support Cheryl. She's the only politician for the people, the only one that's willing to come out here and actually meet our community, speak with community members, and, and see them as people. Like, truly, like, I think that's something that, politicians have missed. They have missed seeing our house neighbors as people. And they just continue to treat them as a, as a problem that has to be solved with services, but like, the fact is that there's a lot of people out here that they just really need to be acknowledged. They need to feel like they belong in the city, and I feel like the only person that actually makes sure that they belong in this city is Cheryl. Like, the only one that actually makes sure that there's basic necessities met for them, a place for them. Like, she's the only one that's willing to fight for us, to make sure that there's a place for us to exist. And and that shouldn't be the case. It should be all politicians caring for all the people. Like, why is she the only one that's always fighting in the council chambers to stick up for for our house neighbors? Like, why is she the only one drafting agenda items in order to to address these needs that we have, And I feel like she is the only one that has actually stood up for us, like, from the beginning of her political campaign. Like, at first I had never met her, but I met her for the first time at His Lordship's parking lot. She was the only council member who actually went out to see the RP
Could you turn the hot water off?
So I just really appreciate everything that she has done, and the fact that she's willing to stick up for this fight, even though when we feel like we're fighting an uphill battle. She's a fighter, and we need more fighters on this city. Thank you.
Hi, it's Marcia Poole.
Hi, Marcia. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you. You had mentioned my telephone number, and I had already pushed *6, and then it didn't work. So, what I would like to say, do I have a minute to say something?
Yes, you do. Yeah. Say whatever you need to say.
Okay. I have worked with Cheryl since she started in the city council, and I actually saw her participating in homeless groups and encounters before she was elected to the city council, and always being there for people and always helping. And I worked in a different way. I was working with Mike Zint, and first they came for the homeless. And we work almost one-to-one with people. And I've had a lot of people that I've had to call Cheryl to help, because I can get nobody in the city council to help, nobody in the city of Berkeley. And Cheryl always comes through. She not only came through for Mike Zint when it was raining inside his apartment, and we went over there and she photographed it and put it online, and made sure that they came over and repaired that right away. He had breathing problems. But just most recently, James Wood, we worked with a number of people, but we've worked with him for about 1.5 years, trying to help him, not be in dangerous shelters, not be in dangerous group housing. Cheryl has always come through. Ruskell and Cheryl, I can call them with an immediate problem that he's going through, like when he was evicted illegally by the Bax person that rented the group housing to to James, and you know, he was out on the street. Margie Wilkinson had to come out there with Tony and bring sleeping bags and tarps and things like that to help him get through. He was a disabled senior. Just last week, he got housing. And not only did he get housing, he got housing in a very good location. And I can thank Cheryl for all of that. And it's just a number. I know of 4 people whose lives she personally has saved. So, you know, the only thing I would like to say as a new suggestion is what I see with people over and over again who are homeless and get into housing is they immediately get lonely. They immediately do not have the community there that they had before, and everything gets problematic, and quite often they blow their housing situation. So I wish there was a way we could figure out not only how to give them services that they desperately need, but also community. And when you think about veterans that come out of war zones and come back into the United States and into families, quite often they turn into alcoholics or homeless and all this because they're used to a tight community that there's interaction with. And I wish we could figure out how to help the people that are newly housed from homelessness have that tight community so they don't fall out of their new housing. And that's all I have to say other than great praise to Cheryl and to Vescal.
Yes, thank you so much. That was awesome. And also, Mary Behm-Steinberg wants to connect. So maybe y'all can connect afterwards. I can connect you. And we actually have someone else who joined us. Carol, are you there? Would you like to speak?
Oh, okay. I'm unmuted now. Yeah, hi. I was glad to get the text today about this going on, and I want to add my voice to loyalty to Cheryl and gratitude to her for all she does. And I think for me, one of the largest challenges and since she was elected has been the homeless situation. My youngest son was got a camper and very responsible with it, and he was living in that because there's just, you know, he went to Berkeley High, you know, Berkeley is his community. And for him, you know, when they passed that ordinance about you couldn't park a camper, even if you were a property owner, you can't park your own camper on the city streets and over, you know, in the middle of the night or something. And Cheryl worked very, very hard, I know, in stopping that. I remember talking with her because, you know, it wasn't about problematic people. The mayor and a lot of people whose names I may not be that familiar with were really not supportive of our community members that do have ties to the community. And in my son's case, you know, he had a disabilities as a child, and being connected to family and community was important. And just to back up what the last person who spoke said, I have to say, I am so offended when I get flyers in the mail really slandering Cheryl, calling her selfish Cheryl and things like that. And it sounds like Trump, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it really is the property owners, you know, the unsympathetic property owners. Not every property owner is unsympathetic, but that just appalls me. And I just want to say to Cheryl, you've been doing a wonderful job, and we appreciate you. And don't let those turkeys get you down. I'm sure you're keeping your chin up, but that's so ugly, you know, really ugly. So yeah, I want to lend my support, and thanks for having me. That's all.
Thanks for coming. I love that you got the text message. That's awesome. Great. Thanks so much. Cheryl, do you want to do like a little wrap up for us?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, everyone. I'm surprised that all the people that are here, I mean, it's just such a blessing to have you in my life. And Mary, I mean, you know, you brought tears to my eyes, because when we first met, like, I felt there was a little distance because of my stance on Palestine. But, you know, here you are supporting me, and that just like, it really brings tears to my eyes, because you never, and like Carol comes to all my open office hours, like most of them when I was having them in person before COVID, BC before COVID, BC before Cheryl, BC before children. But anyway, those are all my but BC before COVID, when I had all those office hours in restaurants and stuff. And Marcia has been such a delight to know. And Yessica's she was always at every council meeting, videotaping, showing public comment, as well as Mary and Marcia were always in the building talking about, you know, standing up for people. So even if I was alone in my stance on the council, I had the backup from the people in the audience. And so that just so great, you know. And Pastor Bains, you've just been like such a great partnership in this whole council thing. And you know, he's doing so many amazing things on his own, and has been for decades. And you know, I'm just so glad to have you all in my life. And I look forward to the next term. And you know, we just have to do more for our unhoused, and more for everybody. You know, I feel I've been saying, like, you know, we need to just like start looking at the whole person, not just moving them or doing one thing for everybody, because it's the whole picture, that the whole person that needs to be addressed, to keep them housed once they get housed. And you know, I'm working on this item, which I'll remain nameless for right now, but it's an item. But today I learned a new component I can add to that item, because I didn't think about necessarily like how lonely people might get once they get housed, you know. And that's something that I can try to address in this item that I'm working on, because the support needs to happen before, after, and during, you know. So yeah, I'm just so blessed to have all y'all in my life. And thank you, Logan, for getting everybody here. And vote Cheryl Davila only.
Yay!
All right, thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, thanks for joining us. There's the few action items that we have. If you can share, tell your network. You know, it's only a few days till the election, so the last things we're doing are tomorrow. We have like a Halloween parade out where we're going to be wearing our Cheryl Davila t-shirts and like walking around. We're starting at Strawberry Creek Park at 2 p.m. And we're gonna, you know, have people dress up in their costumes as well and walk around from Strawberry Creek Park throughout the district. So that's tomorrow. And then Sunday, we're doing a phone banking blitz. So from 9 a.m. to noon, anytime that you can drop in, we'll be there. You can find the information for that at cheryldavila.vote/events. And also on Saturday, we're going to be talking about police accountability as well. So
at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock. So that'll also be on the website. So yeah, I hope maybe you can get out and support us, but mostly like thank you for lending your voice today, because that's like the real core of organizing, I think, is testimony. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.